Yeah. So I just finished recording the first video. Phone kind of dropped in the pan. So henceforth, this is another video that I'm doing. This is the continuation of me cooking the wild boar. So actually, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I got the wild boar here. You can peep this. This is the wild boar. And again, it's a different smell to it. Much different smell. But as you can see before you, I'm going to pair it with this nice bottle of cognac. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the name, but this cognac I've already tried some before. Whew. I'm not gonna drink too much. I do gotta go to work in the morning. I'm gonna make sure I do get up. Got this from Total Wine. It's about 40% alcohol. So I'm gonna actually eventually start pairing things in my videos so that way you guys can kind of gauge what to pair it with. And actually, let's taste this wild boar without putting anything on it. Okay. It's a little gamey, but this is really good. It's a very lean meat. So the first one, this is the first part of the sandwich. I don't have anything on it. This has very rich flavors. I only put salt and pepper on it. Himalayan sea salt and black peppercorn. You don't really need much for this. I cooked it on a low temperature, maybe between 3 to 5, because I have an electric stove. This is really good. You can tell from the taste and from the smell. You ever walk into somebody's house when they're cooking something that you've never maybe had before? You're like, man, I wonder what there's. And it's not necessarily a bad smell, but you can tell this is not typical ground beef or what have you. This is good. This is really good. Now, let's pair it with the, I guess you can call it no, I ain't doing it. Let's taste it. I'm sorry, I started drifting. That's how delicious this is. So I'm not sure if, like, are you into cognac? Are you into scotch? Are you into whiskey? Are you into tequila? All of them have different backgrounds of how they're prepared, of how they're made. But this one here, I think I paid about maybe $40 something for this bottle, and it's worth $40 something. You've heard the expression, you are what you eat. It's smooth going down, all the way down. There's no bite to it. It has, it's, so if you ever had cheap liquor, it makes you feel some type of way after you drink it. For those of my drinkers who may be watching this video, this right here, not the case. I don't think you'll be waking up with any headaches. But let's now try it after I finish taking a little sip of it. Let's try the boar. I took a little tiny sip. Let me take some more. So I do notice pairing the boar with this, it gives this cognac more bite. So before I took a bite of this and I took a sip of this cognac went down smooth. After I took a bite, cognac still went down smooth, but it had more bite to it. It had like a, not a necessarily an aftertaste. And the bite is not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually a pretty good thing. And you cannot overcook boar. I'm going to tell you why. Since this is my first time cooking it. I don't really eat red meat. I don't really eat meat. But the whole premise of my channel is to always go outside the box to try something different. Well, henceforth, this is different. So now, when you cook something that's high protein and lean, if you cook it too long, guess what's going to happen? Yeah, you got it. It's going to be tough. And it's going to be chewy. It's like ordering a steak that's been aged, say that's 20 days. And you tell the waiter or the waitress, hey, let me get that steak well done. What would be the point of them aging the steak if you're going to get it well done? Excuse me, wouldn't make any sense. Now what we're going to do, again from Wild Forks, let's try this chimichurri sauce. Normally, a lot of people put chimichurri like on flank steaks. You can put it like on chimichargas, like a few like Mexican dishes. You can put it on red meat as well. Now let's see. Once I get this thing open. So the ingredients: garlic, parsley, vinegar, extra virgin olive oil, spices, salt, citric acid, potassium sorbate as a preservative, of course, to preserve it. So let's put a little bit. So if you check, you want to peep the put a little bit of the chimichurri on the boar. Now let's see what this boar is going to taste like. I hope it's good. I guarantee you I'm definitely going to buy this boar again and cook it. I now would actually like to see how it's going to taste on the grill. But let's taste it with the chimichurri sauce. And actually, it's not too bad. You definitely taste the vinegar a little bit of the parsley and the garlic, but the vinegar, I don't know if it's because I didn't mix it up or I'm supposed to mix it up, but you definitely taste it, and it has a perfect balance with this Wild Boar. Another thing about eating something high in protein, you don't feel so blah after you eat it. You actually feel pretty good after you eat the dish, after you eat the meat or whatever you're eating in high in protein. Woo! There goes that bite. Yeah, I was telling you about. So let's get back to my conversation that I was having with you in my previous video. Yo, times were different back in the day. Like, what kind of kid were you? I don't know if I asked you this question in my last video. What kind of kid were you when you were growing up? Now, I'm a middle child. And for those of us who are middle children, you can't tell me there wasn't a difference with the way you were treated from your older and your younger brother. I tell my mom that all the time. She's like, no, I didn't treat you. Yes, you did. I have a middle son. He says the same thing. So, like the type of kid that I was in school, I was a pretty bad kid. Not bad to the point to where I was like, well, yeah, I was a pretty bad kid. Fights. Getting into trouble with my teachers. So I had this one teacher. Her name was Miss Parrott. I was in the first grade. This is how you know I hated this teacher, because I still remember her now. I hated the teacher so much. I did a couple of wild things in our class. And this is when I was living in California. So back in the day, there used to be such things called show and tell. That's what I bought for show and tell. Bullets. Stepdad was in the military. You know how Rambo had that those bullets across his chest? Well, I didn't know if they were bullets. Man, how am I supposed to know? They bullets. Brought them to school. I didn't get in trouble, but I mean, I could have got my stepdad in trouble. I had no idea. That's number one. Number two, the same teacher. So apparently, my mom told me this story because I didn't even remember that. I was hiding in the whole entire school. School couldn't find me. Teacher had to call my mom and say, "We can't find your son." So of course I did the classic move. Went in the bathroom, put my feet right up on the stool, and hid. Nobody could find me. I don't know when they found me. I think it was like 30, 45 minutes later. They found me. Like little dumb stuff like that. I used to get in I used to talk back to the teachers a lot. Wasn't taught that way from my parents, of course, or from my mom. My mom used to tear my behind up. But, I don't know. Like, I was one of those hard-headed kids where I had to learn the hard way. I was always on punishment, always getting my stuff taken away from me. Like, 4 walls were my friends. And my friends were like, "Man, you on punishment again? Come on, dude." Hey, it is what it is. But what kind of kid were you? Were you an obedient child? Were you a hard-headed child? Were you a studious child? I did okay in school. I had average grades. Some of my grades were good because some of the subjects I liked. I hated math. Like what subject did you hate? I hated math, but I loved English. Loved English. I still love English to this day. English, history were my 2 favorite subjects. Math, biology, chemistry. Oh, I hated those because they had something to do with math. I hated them. Hated them. Hated them. But I will say the way your parents raised you made you become who the adult that you are today. But also too, whoever took part in your raising you as a child. Because my grandmother actually took part of raising me as a child too. And this is why I tell you why I love English. So when I was in elementary school, part of my childhood life, we lived in North Carolina. Grandmother had a huge land, 30 acres of land. And I know my younger brother can remember this because he was living with me and my grandmother. She used to make us do book reports. Yeah, this is not school curriculum. Book reports. Who does that? So I try to hit my grandmother with the okie doke. Get these fictional books, like these Swamp Thing, Vampire, and try to write book reports on that. My grandmother, boy, she straightened me up quick. She had a library, so she made me read The Hardy Boys, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, and she had, again, her house was surrounded by 30 acres of land, and she had a dining room to where you could dim the lights. When all the lights were out, I was the only one sitting in that dining room reading, putting together a book report, and it had to be done before the next day because she was reading it. And once she read it, she had to proofread it. And if I didn't put the sentences together correctly, guess what? Marked it up, write it again. Didn't appreciate it when I was younger, but now I do, because have you ever heard an interview from like these celebrities and you're like, man, can they even read? Like, they sound real ignorant. Like, no knocks against these celebrities, but like, I've seen it from athletes. I've seen it from people in powerful positions to where I'm like, yo, did you get any type of education or did you just breeze them? That's one thing I can appreciate. Like, my mom, as hard as she was on me, and my grandmother, I can appreciate that now as an adult. But as a child, you don't appreciate that. But now, it's so different though. Like, what's so different? You oh my goodness, like social media. I didn't have social media back in the day. We didn't even have internet. Okay, I'm about to tell my age. I didn't have social media. I didn't have the internet. When internet was finally invented, I had dial-up, net zero, CDs. I can remember watching things on TV like the cable had two sides, A and B. And then TV used to go off. Yeah, I'm telling my age. I mean, I got a little few grays here and there. I'm telling my age, but those were the good old days. Man, I used to go outside. I used to stay outside. Now, that's what everybody doing right here. Now, I'm an occasional gamer, but come on, man. I still like to get outside. I still like to have fun out there. But I don't know, man. Tell me, I'd like to know from you guys, what kind of child were you? And what do you miss about your childhood? And what's the difference that you can tell now from when you were growing up until now? Because I know that many of us who are maybe around my age can see a huge difference, especially with bullying. Shout out to K&J, Christian and Jamil, addressing that issue a few videos back. Oh, y'all want to hear an impersonation? So I was watching one of their videos, and you guys are hilarious. But your impersonations of the Star Wars characters, I'm gonna do it on the next video. I'm gonna hit you with the Yoda, Chewbacca, maybe Darth Vader. You want to hear my Yoda, do you? I'm pretty good. This boar? This is delicious. This cognac? 40% alcohol it is. That's just a little tidbit. But yo, thank you for joining me. You already know what to do. Hit the like. Hit the subscribe. Check me out on IG. Yo, not only hit the like, but answer. You got any questions, let me know too. I'm down to answer your questions. Let me know. And of course, it's late again. What time is it this time? 10:49. Watch I don't get up for work. Psych, no, I'm getting up for work. But y'all already know what to do. The Palatacious Palatacious Hill's coming at you. See you again. Peace.